You know who else's content is unbelievable? Platinum WoW. That's right. And he dropped a video this week. I haven't watched it yet. I want to see it. It's how Medivh doomed the Warcraft universe. Let's see what he has to say.
The events of Warcraft 1, 2, 3, and World of Warcraft can be traced back to a moment that changed Azeroth forever.
That's right.
The Dark Portal is one of the most iconic images in Warcraft, and the person who is largely responsible for it is Medivh.
Right.
The supposed guardian of Azeroth that doomed the planet
The corrupted
instead.
guardian.
But did you even know that? And if you did, do you even know the details of the rest of his story? Probably not, since his story has mainly been told to players through books or disconnected, awkward cutscenes in game.
It's also been
and really
retconned
the
a
most
lot, it feels
cohesive way his story has been told to non-readers is the Warcraft movie.
Yeah.
Which isn't even exactly canon. And also that sucked. Also, did you know that Medivh made a giant carnivorous beetle that destroyed entire forests? Yes, no, that is real lore. I'll explain in this This video is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends, and without their support, large-scale content like this wouldn't even be possible.
Raid.
You know Raid. You love Raid. And if you don't know Raid, Raid Shadow Legends is a free.
If you don't know Raid, you've never been on Twitch, YouTube, or any type of social media that has to do with MMORPGs.
Play RPG battle system game with hundreds
guys
of
are
champions
everywhere.
for you to collect. Do you want to know why I love Raid? Well, let me just spell it out for you. R. Revenue. Nope.
Revenue. Raid Shadow Legends must have an advertising budget of like $10 million. Minimum.
Oh, just kidding. R. Regular updates so I never get bored of playing this game.
10 million a month.
Arena mode. Now, this is actually my favorite. A PvP mode where I get to pwn noobs. I, Groth, the Eternal Dragon. Because she's a dragon. And D. The Demon Lord. A massive challenge where I need to use my best heroes to defeat him, and he looks pretty cool, am I right? Right now, there are only a few days left for the special Valentine's Day event with a themed adventure called Raid Love Quest.
Why play his ad? Because I'm playing his
ID
video.
And head to this URL, and you can play mini games with a chance to win in-game.
I'm using his video for content, so the least I could do is also let his ad run so people can see his code and everything else.
Prizes. Like Valentine's-themed raid champions and Amazon gift cards. But wait, there's more. New players, hey, if you're new, use my link or scan the QR code right here, and you can get a free starter pack with all this cool in-game loot. Again, thank you, Raid, for sponsoring this video. Check it out to support the channel, and on with the video.
And if you use this
Our story
little
begins
scanner thing in the corner,
823 years before the Dark Portal. At this time, the most powerful mage in all of Azeroth was a human woman named Egwene. She was the guardian of Tirisfal,
the original
a very
Jaina.
important role on Azeroth, where basically a bunch of mages channel their power into you, and you become the sole protector of the entire planet against the demonic legion.
Get back, you demonic beast!
Egwene clashed with the avatar of Sargeras on the snowy peaks of Northrend. The two fought with righteous fury, but Egwene defeated the manifestation of the Dark Titan. Little did she know, this was only a modicum of his power.
Yeah, OG Jaina.
The essence of the Dark God infiltrated himself into Egwene and would hide in the deep recesses of her soul, waiting to strike again. Egwene transported the body of the avatar Sargeras to the Temple of Elune and imprisoned it with highborn seals. Years and years later, this temple would become corrupted and would be renamed to the Tomb of Sargeras, and players would fight the avatar of Sargeras during the Legion expansion. Now back to Egwene. She was understandably very cocky after thinking she just defeated a god in a one-on-one duel. Over time, she would grow distant from the Council of Tirisfal, the mages that gave her this awesome power in the first place. They wanted her to use her powers for political manipulation, despite the role of the Guardian being made specifically for the protection of Azeroth, and only that.
What a bitch. Damn.
Egwene hid away from the council and created the magical Tower of Karazhan that was built on the ley lines of Azeroth.
Wow.
Eventually, the council would attempt to steal Egwene's powers by force, so she fled to Suramar to escape their wrath. There she met a human named Aeneas Aran who was supposed to stop her, but the two would instead fall in love and have a child.
Okay, so he simped. The man had one job, and he had to become a simp. Simping is dangerous, man.
I am a baby, and my name is Medivh.
Medivh was born a baby. A baby with a curse. The essence of Sargeras had transferred itself from Egwene
she's
to
hiding.
her newborn son,
guess not.
and would continue to lie in wait for a moment to strike. The powers Egwene
Damn, I
possessed
didn't know
were
this.
transferred to her
So Medivh was cursed at birth. I actually thought Medivh like became cursed slowly but surely. He was cursed from birth.
son, but would
Cursed
not
in
be
the womb.
active until he reached maturity. Egwene would then go into hiding, and Medivh would
Shit.
be raised by his father in Stormwind. Since Neelis was an advisor, he would
Jaina
grow
and
up
Egwene are
alongside
overrated.
the nobles like Lane Wrynn and Anduin Lothar. One day, for some reason, the three boys were venturing through Stranglethorn and were ambushed by jungle trolls.
Damn trolls.
Asterisk, scream asterisk.
Shit.
Oopsie, I didn't even know I had that power. Well, I feel very dizzy. I'm going to pass out. Good night.
On the eve of
pulling a
Medivh's
Grogu?
14th birthday, he awoke from a nightmare. Sweat dripped from his brow, and in the night, he stumbled over to his father's room.
Daddy, please help me. I don't feel so good. Do you think you can perhaps check my temperature?
Certainly.
Overwhelming magic
Holy shit.
exploded from Medivh and surged with uncontained powers. His father and no less than 100 clerics tried to subdue the powers surging through the young boy. But in the end, Medivh was left in a coma, and his father slain by the powers of his own
Holy
son.
crap, he killed his dad?
Oh no, don't worry. After my long nap, I have taken control of my powers. At least I think I did.
That's good. That's
After
good.
his decade-long nap, Medivh assured everyone that he wasn't going to blow up with unstable power again, and everything was under control. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Anyways, at this point in time,
Not-
the
not quite how
Gurabashi
it worked
trolls
out.
to the south were continuing to push into the kingdom of Stormwind's territory.
Damn trolls.
So Medivh, Anduin Lothar, and Lane Wrynn
Oh.
traveled to Stranglethorn to kill
Now they're big boys, though. That's right.
more trolls again, which only enraged the trolls, and they launched a full-on assault on Stormwind. Little did they know the powers of the Guardian had fully awakened inside of Medivh.
Oh, he's about
and
to
he was
one-shot
now
him.
the most powerful mage on the entire planet.
I f***ing hate trolls.
Holy shit. That's a
Medivh
badass
unleashed
picture.
the torrent of magic at his disposal and practically single-handedly wiped out the entire army of trolls.
One-shot him. What
At
an
the end of
epic
the conflict,
moment.
Medivh was
Holy
shooken by the
crap.
powers he now possessed. He traveled
the
to his mother's
Gurabashi.
tower of Karazhan. And
They
there,
just got one-shotted by a mage. An entire army. That's got to
he
be
learned the
debilitating.
depth of his true power. He was the
Demoralizing.
Guardian, a beacon of strength, and the sole defender of the entire planet. He could also turn into a raven,
So Karazhan's his mom's house, technically. His mom is the one who built Karazhan.
which was pretty badass.
That is badass.
With these powers also came darkening thoughts within his very soul, twisting his emotions with sinister intent, and isolating himself from the outside world. Thankfully, Medivh didn't have to struggle alone. Within the tower, he had his servant Morose, who once served his mother, and would now attend to the
That's right.
Guardian and handle the upkeep of the tower.
Morose.
Master, are you doing all right?
What? Oh, yes. I am all right, Moros. Just dealing with some troubling thoughts is all.
Well, perhaps we could have a party. I'm sure the local nobles would love to partake in the pleasantries of the tower, and the company may do you some
He's
good.
that rogue. Yep, that's right. He's the
That-
rogue.
That sounds like a wonderful idea.
He's the skeleton rogue. Oh, shit. You got a party going on? Medivh's pumping that beat. I always fast forward Karazhan, but this remix is the shit. This is a good remix of Karazhan music. It's a Reebok or Nike.
Medivh had the biggest ragers in all of the Eastern Kingdoms, and nobles from all around the land flocked to enjoy his festivities. And yet, a darkness in his soul still persisted. Medivh became obsessed with ending the Burning Legion and searched endlessly within his libraries for a way to stop the demons.
He was looking for the Burning
In reality,
Legion.
he was clueless to the
All he had to do was look inside.
fact that it was Sargeras who influenced his thoughts, and Medivh's attempts at stopping the Burning Legion would only spread their influence throughout the universe.
Canon, I guess so.
During his research, he discovered the world of Draenor. At this time, the Orcish clans had united as the Horde and drank the blood of Manoroth. In his stupor, Medivh somehow thought that using demonic bloodlusted orcs to help defeat the Burning Legion would be a good idea.
What? I mean, he was clearly being influenced by Sargeras, because this makes no sense. He would think that an army that's completely influenced by the Burning Legion could defeat the Burning Legion. That's some backwards ass thinking. He's FaceTiming Gul'dan.
Medivh made contact with the Orcish warlock Gul'dan, who controlled the Horde at this time, and offered him a deal. If he brought the Horde to the world of Azeroth, he would tell Gul'dan the location of the Tomb of Sargeras, a place of untold power for him to tap into. Gul'dan agreed because he's a cartoon villain who only cares about power. Then both mighty spellcasters worked to tear a rift into space and time to connect their worlds together through
Warlock
the
and a
magical
mage.
portal. Gul'dan used the souls of
together.
countless Draenei prisoners, and Medivh using the powers of the Guardian.
This part in the movie, the Warcraft movie, was actually, it wasn't too badly portrayed. If you remember, Gul'dan was literally draining the souls of the Draenei in the cages and then used it to open up the portal. That was kind of a cool part in the movie.
Once the portal was opened, ripples of untold power thundered across Azeroth, and every spellcaster on the entire planet felt the gateway's dark presence.
Thank you. You're welcome. I'm going to go throw the best party ever now. Goodbye.
I wish we had been invited to these. These are great.
Aegwynn traveled to Karazhan with the blue dragon Arcanagos, knowing her son must have been a part of this demonic ritual.
What in the light's name are you doing, my son?
I'm just
Dropping
dancing.
some sick beats.
Why do you ask?
It was then Sargeras fully possessed Medivh's body and went on an in-depth villain monologue about the truth. That when Aegwynn defeated his avatar, his spirit had transferred into her and now possessed her child. Aegwynn became enraged and was determined to destroy Sargeras right then and there, even if it meant killing her own son.
Damn. Oh, Vada Kedavra. Vada Kedavra.
When the blue dragon Arcanagos jumped into the fray, Medivh used his dark magic to sear the flesh off of the creature in a matter of seconds.
Holy shit.
And his charred bones would later be raised into undeath as the dragon Nightbane that players fight in the Karazhan dungeon.
I love it when shit makes sense
Laugh,
like this.
asterisk.
In order to get the upper hand, the possessed guardian drained the life of all of the nobles in his tower, allowing him to completely overwhelm his mother, and she was forced to retreat.
That's how everybody in Karazhan died. Holy shit. This
Now
is
that
amazing.
that matter is solved, let me return to my festivities. Oh yeah, totally forgot about the whole killing everybody thing. Well, time to get to work, Moros.
Oh,
Aegwynn
shit.
organized an audience with Lane Wrynn, who is now the king of Stormwind. She told him that Medivh had gone mad, possessed by the devil, and is responsible for the orcs invading Azeroth. Lane Wrynn pretty much just ignored her. This was Medivh,
It's a
the guy
classic
that
human
killed all
thing.
those trolls. Disappointed, Aegwynn realized she did all she could and kind of just disappears. And also, Medivh organized the accidental demonic deaths of the Council of Tirisfal, so they wouldn't meddle with his affairs.
Accidental, yeah.
Meanwhile, in Karazhan, no one seemed to notice the dozens of nobles that went missing. Around this time, the mages of Dalaran sent an apprentice to who they thought was the well-meaning Magus of Karazhan.
Oh, you must be the new apprentice.
This is Khadgar?
Khadgar, is it?
Oh, shit.
Well, let me take you to your new teacher. Pardon me, master. Your new student has arrived.
What? Oh, hi, I have to go do mage things. Bye.
Khadgar learned under the tutelage of Medivh, but also his master would be gone for weeks at a time in his tower, leaving Khadgar to scour across the seemingly endless library of knowledge at his
when you think
disposal.
about it, Khadgar's a real fucking champ. This guy was literally sitting and learning from a demonic, a freaking demonic infused teacher. And yet he never succumbed to the corruption. Khadgar's a champ.
Catching stray sights of spirits while he explored the halls.
His master was possessed by a
And
demon.
hey, did you forget about at the start of the video I said Medivh made a giant beetle? Yeah, maybe we should talk about that.
What?
Okay, so in Warcraft 2 there was an official custom map called Beetle Island. This was made from a giant creature born from the energies of the Dark Portal. This creature destroyed entire forests, and the humans and orcs had to team up to polymorph the creature.
The
And
hell?
then orc death knights used decay magic spells, and an explosion or something happened to make Beetle Island. Beetle Island
What?
hasn't been mentioned since October 29th, 1999.
I was 9 years old.
So, okay, a side tangent over, back to our main story. In the rare cases when the master would converse with his apprentice, Khadgar would definitely notice something was wrong. When the orcs started to push into human territory, he remarked that everything was going as planned, which is a weird thing to say. And speaking of orcs, Grona Half-Orchid, emissary of the Horde,
Grona,
arrived at
yes.
the tower. Khadgar wasn't too happy with her sudden appearance, but over time, Medivh and Grona would have a relationship.
Huh?
And look, I'll be totally honest with you,
I didn't know
probably
this
the most
happened.
awkward, poorly written, and forced relationship in all of Warcraft history.
The heck?
And the two would have a son named Medan, who then
Oh,
had the worst
Medan,
story
yes.
ever
I've
told
heard
in
of
Warcraft
Medan,
in a
yeah.
comic book series, which now isn't canon
This
because
guy's
of
been,
how
like,
bad it
retconned out of the
was.
game
And
pretty
if you're
much.
curious, I have a full video covering the history of that abomination.
Yeah,
Okay, stick
yeah.
with me here, our story is almost done. As time passed, Medivh would display more insane and irrational behavior. And using the spellbooks in the tower, Khadgar and Grona were able to take a glimpse into the past to see that it was Medivh who opened up the Dark Portal.
What a dick.
Oh my goodness.
Yep.
So Khadgar and Grona hurried to Stormwind to have an audience with
But not
Lane Rain
Shadowlands,
and
yeah.
Lothar,
That's been
who was
retconned,
now
but
the
not
supreme
Shadowlands, that's
commander
right.
of the Alliance. The evidence they had made the King of Stormwind believe them this time, and Anno and Lothar, Khadgar, and Grona, and a small group of troops barged into the tower to kill the crazed Guardian. Already they found the body of Morose.
Oh, no.
Medivh's insanity from his possession had gone out of hand, and he
Oh,
needed to
no.
be put down, and the epic battle they had with Medivh is brilliantly displayed in Warcraft 1.
My lord.
6 polygon battle. Nice.
But really, during the battle, they caught the Guardian off guard, and Khadgar drove a blade into Medivh's chest.
Wait a
But
minute.
Medivh cast a
Khadgar fucking stabbed him?
drain life on him, which made him old, really old.
What?
So the
Hold on, the Khadgar that we see today is not actually as old as he looks?
Khadgar we know and love today is technically like a 60-something-year-old man, but has only been alive for around like 30 years or so.
Holy crap.
Next, Anduin Lothar delivered the final blow and decapitated the Guardian,
Oh, shit.
ending his mad reign over the Tower of Karazhan and sending Sargeras' spirit back into the twisting nether.
Gee, I had no idea he
But
was
this wasn't the
decapitated.
end of Medivh's impact on the world he had doomed. After his death, the uncorrupted spirit of Medivh watched as the world was thrown into chaos. An affliction called the Plague of Undeath originally born from the demonic taint that he had unleashed
plague
on the
points.
world, spread throughout Lordaeron, and he wanted nothing more than to warn the people of the danger to come. But it was impossible. The only person he could reach out to was his mother, and he begged for her to resurrect him.
You know, he came to Thrall
Egwene
in a
could
dream.
sense that the corruption no longer polluted her son's soul, and she mustered up the power to bring Medivh into the physical world. This was the first time he wholly was Medivh, not influenced by the powers of Sargeras. His spirit was simply known as the Prophet, and he plays a very large role in Warcraft 3.
So all
This
of
is where gameplay
profiting happened after he was resurrected.
it really starts to leak into lore, and Medivh is basically the thing that binds the Night Elf, human, and Orc storylines together.
Right.
He warns them all about the Burning Legion, and how all the factions need to unite during the Third War to defeat the demons, and thanks to Medivh's help, the demons are defeated, but in the end, Medivh's power wanes, and he fades into the spirit world once more.
Okay.
He would make very minor
that makes
appearances
sense
when
now.
players raided his Tower of Karazhan during the Burning Crusade, and in Legion, Karazhan would be invaded by demons again.
Why do
And
they
at
love
the
to
end of the
invade
dungeon,
Karazhan so
Medivh
much?
gives
Probably 'cause of the
Khadgar
ley
a little
lines.
pep talk about how he is the new Guardian, not because of his powers, but because of his heart, courage, and sheer force of will.
No, it's just
Way
keep it
too
about
sappy, and then he
powers.
flies
Yeah.
away because he doesn't have time to fight the Legion, as he has more important matters elsewhere. Whatever that means.
The Void?
And that is really the last time we
Maybe.
ever saw Medivh. So I guess the question is, will we ever see Medivh again? Well, maybe.
Listen, I mean, in World of Warcraft, I think we've learned one thing: nobody's ever truly gone, except after the blasphemy that they committed against Arthas' soul in Shadowlands. I don't know if we'll ever see him again, but no one's ever really gone in WoW. They always come back.
kind of written it so he can return at any time the plot needs him,
Yeah.
and he definitely is one of the most
Shadowlands needs to be
iconic
retconned out of
characters
the
in the
game.
universe, despite barely being involved in the MMO side of Warcraft's story. I think it would be cool to see maybe a revamp of how Medivh looks, kind of like what they did with Wrathion, and maybe have Khadgar and Medivh's relationship
timeline
developed a
of
lot
this.
more in
Yeah,
game.
maybe.
But to be honest, I really just want another Karazhan dungeon with perhaps more focus on the parties.
Oh yeah, here it comes. This is a Karazhan song that I would play. This is good. What a great song. It's his dad's fault and his mom's. Yep. I thought you quoted Star Wars. I would love to quote Star Wars. It's a great video.